Hello everyone, hope you're doing great. This time I'm back with another video specifically focusing on interview aspects of software application engineer. If you are someone preparing for interviews for application engineer or cloud support engineer or automation engineer, DevOps engineer, so this video is for you. Please do watch until the end. And whatever I'm going to present in this video is from my personal experience. So yeah. So, what makes this interview different from any other IT role or software development roles? An application engineer is expected to have a curious mind to learn, investigate, deep dive into technical issues, come up with some form of plan in solving any any issues. And in the process, they have to go through different documents, gather a lot of information, so they are expected to have a good attention to detail. They expected to be forward thinking and a methodical thinking person, so that whatever the solution that they're going to suggest is going to consider all the trade-offs and then provide the solution. And of course, they are expected to have the problem-solving skills, root cause analysis, troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is specific to a different system, so it might vary based on the role. Um, and of course, they need to be good with the communication because they interact with different teams to understand the required solve certain problem. And a customer obsession is also expected out of this. So what does they actually do? One of the prime be operational excellence. And when I say operational excellence, it can cover multiple areas. For example, issue resolutions, maintaining security posture of your systems, and ensuring that the infrastructure that you use for your systems are not going out of the thresholds, creating monitoring solutions, creating automations that eliminates the manual work. So these are all comes under operational excellence. And as I said, they have to work on resolving software security issues. I'll be talking a little bit more deep on these things in the next slides. Yeah, and they should be good with the handling critical incidents. So recently, you have observed DynamoDB outage. So during those scenarios, application engineers can be involved to triage and deep dive and investigate the issues. And they're expected to have some form of scripting knowledge so that they can create some automation scripts, automation solutions that can eliminate the manual work. And they should be aware about the cost implications of any solutions that they're going to bring up, how much cost a certain infrastructure is taking, how you can optimize it, what are the if you take an example of AWS, what compute would be good for that particular use case, and how should we ensure that the cost is not going above the budget. So they should be aware about all this knowledge. And also, when you're working for a software engineering teams, you need there will be a release pipelines, and they should be aware about the knowledge how they can optimize this release process. Like when a developer commits code change into the pipeline, how can they ensure that the pipeline is not blocked? How can they ensure that proper test coverage is introduced as part of the pipeline? What kind of activities they can take to ensure there is a smooth flow of that commit to the production, and ensure that there is a proper coverage of operational metrics around that feature. And also they handle some major migrations. For example, let's a package is using an old way of authenticating to a certain system, and 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 the systems recommend to use a newer way of authentication. So they have to perform that major migration. I'll be talking more about this in the upcoming slides. But yeah, these are some of the important uh, tasks that we can expect from an application engineer. Right? Let's look into what software security issues are and what application engineers actually do to solve them. So let's consider any software engineering team, right? They own some kind of services, let it be server side or client side. Let's take an example that a team owns a service that helps in performing financial transactions. So the team will be having servers where the application would be running. So the application engineers should be aware on how this system works, where these services are deployed, where can you access the logs, so that if there is any issue that comes up, they can look into those logs. And and we use multiple dependencies as part of the service, right? You need to use multiple packages when creating such service. So there is a possibility that the dependencies or the packages that we use as part of the service can have vulnerabilities. In the recent incidents, you might have known there is a vulnerability in the Log4j, um, right? So multiple teams use Log4j library for logging purpose. So during that time, application engineers are expected to see or investigate what this impact of this security issue for their service, how it's going to affect them, and if it is going to affect them, what changes they can do to eliminate it. So for solving security issues, application engineers are expected to have good knowledge about the service, and if they do some form of code change, where it's going to affect, what metrics they need to monitor, how they need to deploy those changes, how they need to verify that them in the production. So all this knowledge is essential for solving such issues, and application engineers are expected to be aware about these details. Ability to handle high severity incidents. As I mentioned in the previous slide, you can take an example of DynamoDB incident outage itself. So when the outage comes, it has created a high severity incident for the teams. So who is going to triage it? So that's when application engineers are also involved uh, to see what is the actual cause of the issue, what are the timelines of the issue, and they should be expected to have a clear mind, clear knowledge about the service, so that they can perform a deep dive investigation on why that issue has occurred, and come up with sort of solution in a less time. So that is what is expected, like coming up with good solution in a shorter time, ensuring your facts are correct during that investigation. So application engineers are also expected to handle the high severity instance um, as part of their work. And yeah, creating automations. Creating automations is also an important aspect for application engineers. And the automation can come in different forms, either by scripting or maybe using some cloud technologies like AWS. So it's basically focusing on how to reduce the manual work for the teams, how we can reduce that burden on the team so that we can focus more on creating new features that will help the customers uh, feel good about the product. So yeah, the automation can come in from scripting or cloud. Um, and recently we have come across machine learning operations, where they will be using machine learning services to come up with some form of automation, like maybe automated way of ticket triaging, automated way of solving security risks. And and this, yeah, machine learning gives you ample opportunities to bring that operational efficiency in the team processes. Yeah, so application engineers are expected to have this knowledge as well. They need to think about if they can they automate it, what technologies can they use to automate it, and what is the impact of that automation, what are the trade-offs of that automations. So all these details, they should be good at, and again, it overlaps with other skills as well, right? Um, deep dive and investigation to understand the root cause of creating an automation to solve that problem. So all these aspects come under automation. So, how do companies evaluate candidates for application engineer? So, when a company wants to take an interview for application engineer, they would want to look into what is their experience in terms of root cause analysis, troubleshooting, how are they handling critical situations, what are their deep dive investigations, how methodically they approach the problem while solving a certain issue. So all these aspects are considered while interviews, and often the responsibility of application engineers overlap with other roles as well, like a DevOps engineers or SREs, and even a cloud support engineer. So it 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 depends upon the team, it depends upon the domain as well. But ultimately, the skills of the application engineers will be focused around the topics that I have discussed. um, yeah, so the companies do expect these skills while even selecting a resume for that for this role. Yeah, so why application engineers are valued? So they keep services healthy, they prevent outages like the DynamoDB, they resolve customers' problems, they come up with some automation that reduces the manual work, they strengthen the reliability of the product, and looking into production issues, solving production issues, ensuring uh, their infrastructure is maintained in the right optimum way. So all these benefits the organization take from the application engineers, right? So, what are the specific skills? I talked about generic skills that are needed. We're going to go into uh, technical aspects, technical skills that are needed for application engineer in my next video. What kind of debugging mindset they should come up uh, well when they select for the organizations? What kind of answers will look good in an interview? How do we approach a question in a methodical way to ensure that we cover all the aspects while providing the solution? So I'll be talking about that in the next video. So stay tuned for my part 2. Hope you guys liked my video and content useful. Please do like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.